Hey, welcome back. It's been a few days since I've got the chance to play a little bit of Magic. I think it's the start of a new season this week, and I managed to play one or two games just to play, but I haven't really been able to record anything. But here we are. So, um, with my last couple of games during my matches, I played against a lot of aggro, and so um, I guess the main weakness is this we're gonna need to do something about aggro decks. So for now, um, in my side at least, I'm going to try out a couple of different um, board wipes or sweepers. So right now, I might just add this back in. I can't. So right now, I want to try out these three here, and maybe Ritual Soot also. So the idea here is I'm gonna try out different types of board wipes to see which one works the best in the Grixis color. So Languish, I like it. Gets rid of a lot of things. Obviously, it doesn't get rid of the bigger creatures, but I think for the bigger creatures, we should be fine getting rid of them using cards like Inferno or Drown or even the big Nicobolus. So there's an argument for me to go ahead and play more of these. Anger of the Gods, I don't think I want to play too many. Never really, every time I had it, it never really did what I wanted it to do. It either just missed all the creatures I wanted to hit, or it was double red, or I was facing against something with indestructible weenies, and this was just not answering them that great. Like it works against the elves or mono green elves, but once they start putting out the creatures that buff other creatures, then they're gonna get way out of control faster than Anger of Gods can take care of. And the double red really sometimes is a little too slow. Like in gameplay, it's like, or in theory at least, should be able to play this on turn 3, wipe out their board. In practice, I feel like I end up playing this on turn 4 a lot, which kind of defeats the purpose of it being 3 mana. Like if I'm waiting until turn 4 to play sweeper, I might as well play one of these sweepers, which would be arguably better. Extinction Event I still like. The only issue with this one is it doesn't really clear the whole board. And also it hits my stuff in terms of if I call even, I'm going to hit my Bolus and my Croxa, which I don't really want to exile. So I'm a little debatable about this, but I do want to try out Languish, and I do want to try out this card, Shadow's Verdict. Seems pretty interesting. It solves us. I guess it solves two problems for us. It hits anything that's 3 and under, so it's kind of like a Ritual of Soot. But the cool thing about it is it just exiles it, so it gets over the indestructible stuff while still hitting the low mana stuff. The exiling of the Planeswalker is just an added bonus. There's not really 3 mana Planeswalker in Historic that you have to really worry about. The main one you do see is probably going to be Narset. Teferi's banned, so you really don't have to worry about Teferi. I guess the only other 3 mana one maybe be Saheeli or something. I mean, Oko would be an issue, but Oko's also banned, so I think Wizards kind of learned their lessons in making a 3 mana OP Planeswalker. But anyways, the other cool thing is it also hits the graveyard. So it doubles up as both a card that can wipe out resources from opponent's graveyard, but it kind of may hit us also because it also exiles stuff from our graveyard, being that we don't want to hit our own Croxa with that. But I mean, against like a mono black deck or vampires or things that recur a lot, then I think Shadow's Verdict is a supreme card over Languish or something else that has trouble dealing with recursion or reanimation. Doesn't really deal with Phoenix decks, I guess. Phoenix and I guess Eldritch decks, stuff like that. But that hasn't really been too much of an issue. They haven't been really a popular deck. I know in modern, is it Phoenix or I guess Jeskai Phoenix is kind of running Rampage. Not really rampant right now, but it's a popular deck and definitely you need some graveyard hate for that. In terms of my graveyard hate, I went back to trying out Soul Lantern. Um, Mainly reason why it's just um, it's hard to for your opponents to interact with this card. They can't really nuke it with like a Prismari command or Culligan's command like they would with the Gravedigger's Cage, and it only hits my opponent's graveyard, which is great. It's a little bit faster than Ashiot. I like Ashiot, but Ashiot's got its issue being that it's 3 mana, and all you're really doing with Ashiot is exiling your opponent's graveyard. Granted, you can hit yourself for the mill and accelerate your game plan with Kroxa. I do find it sometimes a little bit slow against certain aggro decks. In a control matchup, Ashiot's fine, but in a really fast-paced aggro deck, if you're playing this on turn 3, you might not live until next couple of turns. And they'll just completely ignore this. They'll just go for your face. This, it's a little bit more forgiving. You can play it turn 1. You can play it whenever really, and it will kind of be okay. You won't be down. I guess mana. I guess in that sense. I guess you won't lose out on tempo is what I'm trying to say by playing Lantern. Versus if you play Astra, you'll lose out on tempo, and especially against aggro, or fast-paced decks. Astro's not too great against. Other cool thing is, yeah, worst comes to worst, it's a worse bauble, I guess. Misha's bauble, you just sack it, draw a card, cool, so it's not too dead. Disputes I liked against control matchups, especially against Jeskai controls and other, Simic and other control decks. Yeah, disputes been pretty pretty good. And the Aether Gust is just Aether Gust here. This card, I don't have a big formal opinion of it yet. I never really got to see a chance of it in action when I did sight it in, but I'm willing to give it a try. Willing to try it out and see how it goes. So right now, I do have 3 rares. I can craft another Languish maybe, or another Verdict. But I think I might go with Languish since it hits a bit more things. It's a little bit cheaper to cast, and it doesn't hit our own grave. Where Shadows really dominant against certain matchups. You play Shadow against certain matchups and you just blow them out, and that's really good. But I think I might craft another Languish, play that over an Extinction Event. I might cut down on Angers of the God in my side deck. Maybe just play 1 copy. It's not a card that when I had I really felt like, oh, this is gonna turn the game or the tables over to me, even if I wiped out a couple of their creatures. It seems so, I guess. Might be good against mono red aggro, since they don't really have many ways of buffing their creatures, and most of their creatures are already they're 3 toughness anyways, so Anger of God is definitely great against that. Against elves, Weenie Whites, where they have indestructible stuff, or they have ways to pump their creatures up, health is higher than 4, then this card definitely doesn't really do anything. So that's just my opinion of it. And yeah, right now, I think aggro is the worst matchup for this type of deck. Against every other deck I've played against, control and mid-range, I've been doing pretty well. Been playing a couple of best of ones game. Did okay against some of the Theros Chaos trickery decks. And in terms of mana, we've been hitting our mana base pretty well. I guess the only cards we can probably change here, if anything, is the amount of memory lapse or search for Skanta. I think if you really want to always see lands in your opening hands, you can bump the land base up to 24 or maybe even 25. Maybe a different choice of planeswalker. You can play an Astronaut, Nightmare instead, or maybe Liliana or something. Or you can maybe bump up Croc some more, or bump up more cantrips. I guess you can play Ops instead. Add additional Ops to the deck to make your deck even a little bit faster and a little bit more, um, proactive, I guess. Other questionable card might be Teferi here. I mean, there's games where my opponents don't get rid of Teferi and he gets value as I dig through my entire deck. I think one game I dig through 40 cards in my deck just to, always have a card I can play in my hand, just ditching my lands and stuff like that I didn't need. And so he has his Wharf, and I definitely think one copy is not too bad. Yeah, Bolus here is MVP. I definitely like 4 copies. I always wanted to see him. I always want to open him. I always wanted to drop him on turn 4 if possible. Have him pose a threat. Late game, he's still good of a threat, even if you're not really discarding anything with in your opponent's hand. If you guys are top decking, Nicol Bolas is a great top deck, especially when you have like 8 or 7 mana available. He's a threat to, like, essentially you flip on the next turn and your opponent really has to deal with potentially 2 boluses on board, or deals with the flip one, the Arisen, and another Ravager if you have one in the grave, the revive with the -4 ability. Yeah, that's kind of just a small update in the deck. Today I think I will let me actually remove one of these so Arena doesn't flip out on me. There you go. Yeah, today I think I'll just play some best of ones to just kind of do my quests, and within the next coming weeks or so, I'll try out the side deck. I'll probably get rid of this extinction event, add another languish, and then roll with that and see how that works against aggro decks. Yeah. All right. So this season I started off with Platinum 4 because I was Mythic last season. I think my ranking ended up around like 92, 94%, somewhere around there. I didn't really or didn't really try too hard to push up to the number of ranks. Was a little too busy for that, but maybe this season I'll try, depending how well it goes. I do want to try to play Grixis this season and see if I can reach Mythic with it, but if I do find myself struggling a little bit, maybe I'll go back to Esper and go from there if I need to kind of push for the last couple of rounds. I made 1 or 2 small changes to my Esper deck just to try out a couple new cards, but I'll talk about that later. For now, yeah, let's just hop in a couple of games and hopefully we win a couple. So, TCG Player had a 15% sale about this last weekend, and I bought some cards. So I'm trying to finish out my Esper Modern deck and Grixis Modern deck, and I'll be showing that off on this channel probably within a week or so. Okay, yeah, within a week or so, I'll show it off just to show you guys what I've been kind of playing with and go from there. We're gonna keep this hand. It's a bit greedy. It's a little slow. Our hands is a turn 2 play. We could either do search or Thoughtseize. I guess either one's fine. Let's see what he does first. If he's a really quick deck, we might just Thoughtseize and try to hit his plays. If he's a control deck, then we'll just probably play search and yes. So it does look like he's probably playing a mono red deck, which might be a little difficult for us to deal with here. Okay, so goblins, okay. We may want to hit his hand now, because he's going to be at 4 mana. If he plays the spell that gives him 7 mana, he might be able to play the big goblin guy, which I don't remember what his name was, to be honest. I'm not really good with names. There you go. Grixis. Yep, he did have it. So, we're probably gonna hit the Muxus. Or, there's an argument to hit this. Because he's not gonna be able to play the Muxus. If he plays this, he might be able to dump his hand still. Which would still be bad for us. We're just gonna have to deal with the Muxus. Grixis? I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that correctly. A little bit later. Let's just try to slow his game plan down. I think we might try to call Colligans. Maybe. If he top decks this, I guess the Muxus is okay to hit, because if he top decks it, then top decks it, right? I guess we'll just go ahead. Next turn, we're probably just gonna go Colligan's command. Try to dwindle his hand down as quick as possible. Especially if he has the suit. He doesn't have the mana for it, but it's fine. I guess he could sacrifice both to play that, which would be okay with me. It's a treasure token. I'll force him to discard something. I think we want to hit it this turn, so because otherwise he might have priority for play. Do we care about him seeing what his next card might be? He's probably gonna discard this if I do hit the Snoop. This card might be an issue with the Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. It's not like I see what his other cards are gonna be. Interesting. I would have think he kept the Hobgoblin. So, might fetch double black to play a bolus next turn, possibly. The issue here is I can let this pass. So, if he does cast this spell next turn, then we know he has Mutinix. Can't pronounce his name. Then we'll go ahead and Colgan's command and, you know, get rid of that card. But if he doesn't, then maybe he'll play something and we can still kind of nuke one of these goblins. Kind of clear the way for to drop the bolus next turn. Why not? Force him to discard, take 2 damage. I'm not quite too sure why he's taking so long with his decisions. Take 2. Let's just go ahead and go over swamp now. Yeah, it could just be the game that's lagging. The server's lagging. Oh. Oh boy. He'll probably get rid of the treasure token, but he might just go face. Or he might try to deal with the bolus, which would be fine with me. Right now I'm looking for any sort of mini removal. And yeah, I think it's just the servers. No, I think he's just, he might be, doing full control. I don't think I'm lagging, but he is taking quite a while to do stuff. So
God, once again.
I mean, there's an argument for me to just hit one of the goblins with bullets, but it seems kind of like a waste, you know.
Let your weak minds crumble.
So right now, I guess he's hoping he has 6 mana available to him. But if he doesn't deal with the bullets, he's gonna start losing cards real quick. So he has 7 mana now. But I think I can just outrace him by getting rid of his mana source once every turn. I might Teferi. I don't know if I want to ping myself with 2 with the steam vents next turn. I might just Teferi, pitch a bolus, or Teferi plus. If I get a non-shockable land, I'll play that. Play the search. It doesn't look like he's gonna bother dealing with this bolus anymore. I think he's just gonna go for the face. I could also just fatal push this. That way he has almost no way of casting the mucus, or the munix, I think is how you pronounce it. Because he's gonna lose a mana right now. I'm gonna assume he's gonna hit the treasure, but I could be wrong here. If he hits the prospector, then he would be able to cast the Manix next turn. Okay, so he did. So
My
he was indeed
schemes are never ending.
a smart player. I guess it didn't matter because did I draw that off of it? I don't quite remember, but it's okay.
It takes impressive ideas like seconds.
Let's go pitch that. I'm gonna do this to be safe. So if he is able to cast it, then cool. If not, then I think we just win from here. I think there's no way for him to come back from this.
You have no weakness I cannot exploit.
I'll take
Probably
some.
get this. Pretty simple game plan here. I'm gonna just run him dry with resources. And then we got 2 turns, we can just ult with the bolus and win from there. Here I'm just gonna keep the fatal, or fable the fatal push in case the things do get out of control, but it doesn't look like he's gonna come back from that. So the Thoughtseize on turn 2, I think was the correct decision there. Rather than being greedy with the search, we were able to kind of put a wrench into his game plan. And yeah, he was never really able to come back from that. Just top decking. I think my choice to hit the Munix was good. Um, Granted, I was reading too much into the mana impulse card because it's kind of dead in his hand anyways. If I got rid of the mana impulse card, there's always a chance for him to always get 6 mana later down the line and cast the Munix. And you know, oh, this is a hard hand. We are playing first. We do have a turn 1 play. We have 1 turn to draw a land. 2 turns if we can. Then we can put search down. And we can get our game plan moving. But it's extraordinarily greedy keep though. If they get rid of our search for Skanta, we're gonna be in a heap of trouble. I'm going to just go ahead and be a greedy keep. I mean, why not? Oh, there's always a reason not to, but okay. Expressive Stormwing entity, all kind of annoying. I think Stormwing's gonna give me a bigger issue later in the game, but so is that. Okay. We weren't super punished for our greedy keep, but we'll see. I think he's also kept really greedy, so he himself is also down. At this point, we'll just take whatever land we can get. Okay, so he did draw his second land. Really nice. Both of those. Graveyard, that. Okay. We can work with that. We'll let it resolve. Looks like he doesn't have a land. Oh, I think Fadeaway Dragon Chandler makes the most sense. There's a chance for me to get rid of this if he doesn't play another spell this turn, if I can draw a red mana. He can save it by casting a... Oh, okay. That will work fine for me. We are weak to Unholy Heat though, which is an issue, I guess. I just don't have to deal with it. How many spells did he cast? If he has another cantrip, he might be able to Phoenix. Okay, well, we do want a land. Problem here is he has Delirium up. which I think he does. Yeah, he has delirium up. We play the bolus, he'll unholy heat it. And he'll be able to go off from there. Play the bolus, he'll also unholy heat it. But we'll lose a card either way. I guess I'd rather just see what I can draw off the bolus. I don't mind straight using it, I guess.
Will remake the multiverse in my image.
Okay.
Witness a mote of my power.
The plan here is he's gonna unholy heat that anyways, and I think next turn if I can get bolus out, if he unholy heats it again, I can maybe fatal the Phoenix. Okay, it doesn't look like he might not have it, unless he has double Phoenix or triple Phoenix, and then he's able to cast 2 more spells, but. Okay, it doesn't look like he can, so that's fine with me. Memory lapse. It will not put me in an advantage situation to have memory lapse right now. I'd rather see another land or something else, maybe. Let's go ahead and just bolus. I don't think I'll play Croxa. Well, maybe I can play Croxa. Because we just gotta keep forcing him to discard stuff. He's gonna eventually run out of resources, right? Okay. Got rid of 2 decent cards. Oh, he has Finale though. He just ripped it off the top of his deck? That's unfortunate. He'll get the Phoenix back. It's fine. Might be on a clock with this now though. Issue here is, do I want to transform? If I transform and I draw a land, I might be able to do both Croxa and Teferi, which I guess is an argument to do that. I mean, I could Thought Seize, but I'll be down to 1 life. Alright, well. Huh. Alright. He's digging. I think I attack first. And we have to deal with the... Yeah, I think I like the Prismari, to be honest. Don't think we need a Croxo here. So, I will die to most likely a burn spell. I could Prismari, make a treasure token. It seems kind of dumb though, because if he changes his spell, we'll die. No, we'll do this. Down to 1 health here. If he draws a burn spell, we're dead. Draws another creature, we can maybe fatal it if it's not too big. Another arc light. I think we got this. We can survive. Alright, this is why the Prismari is hilarious. So he'll attack. We will deal 2 damage, create a token. Make a black out of this. Play that. And yeah, we call him good game.
If I don't have a Plat, I do love a good puzzle.
I'm just doing this to do my quest. It's not to BM him or anything. There you go. So that's something I also like about Prismari Command is the fact that you can proc it. You can proc your fatal pushes with the treasure token, which is really nice. Yeah, I mean, could be worse, could be better. You can almost say that you could maybe play 2 Prismari Command over the Teferi, to be honest. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about Prismari is the fact that you neg when you play it. I mean, unless you kill an artifact or a creature, then you're evened out. But if you choose any other of the modes, like the draw 2 and create a artifact, you kind of neg, but you accelerate your game plan. It has its purposes, and I do like it as a card. But I think Kolaghan's overall a better card, but maybe not in this deck since I have so little creatures to get back with its return mode. But the dealing 2 damage and forcing your opponent to discard a card has always been good. That's, you can almost always use that, I guess. If anything, worse for worse, it's always a 1-for-1. You can always force your opponent to discard a card and just ping their face for 2. I wish there was one where you can ping their face for 2 and make an artifact. That would be great. I would just do, or yeah, sorry, did I say that wrong? Force them to discard a card and make an artifact. That kind of like a hybrid between these 2 cards. That would be like a perfect card right there. You can, it's a 2 mana card to force your opponent to discard a card, while you still have other molds to choose from, obviously. But I think I would probably use that particular mold a lot more, just to accelerate your game plan to be able to drop maybe Bolus on turn 5 or so. Yeah, I think what saved us there, and even though we kept really greedily, was the search for Skanta. As you can see, I can't just dig through my deck until I finally was able to get something to work with. But even though his deck was a bit faster, and he did rip a finale, which I did not see coming. A lot of people don't play finales anymore. If they're playing they're just playing, you know, the ops and the considers. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised that the Jeskai variant hasn't really made an impact, or Jeskai Phoenix hasn't made an impact in Historic. We have most of the cards that would make that deck viable in here. I guess we're missing one or two. I think you're missing like Metamorphosis or something like that. But most I think of the Jeskai Izzet Phoenix, or I don't know why I say that. Jeskai Phoenix in Modern could be translated into Historic here. Anyways, we can probably do one more game, try and finish the quests, and maybe hit Plat 3. And then from there, next time I record or stream or whatever, might try best of 3 just to see how our side deck does, and we're gonna need to test that. Okay, not the worst nor the best hand. We do have a turn 1 and turn 2 play. We will die to probably any aggro deck though, but I'll keep. The reason why I keep these hands is not because. Okay, well, is that? Yeah, the reason I keep these hands is I like to practice with whatever hands dealt to me. You know, just to get practice and I don't like any of this. That is to get practice in playing bad hands and things like that. Just like in other card games where you don't have the option to mulligan. I will just go ahead and you just kind of have to stick with the fate you're dealt with, I guess. Chandler. I want to say we should hit the Chandler. He might not be able to do anything next turn. If he draws a land, he's gonna play the Season, which will discard him 2, draw him 2. It's fine. Look at the elementals. If we don't do anything, he's gonna for sure just Dragon Rage Chandler us. It's 5 mana to get that back. We don't have a turn 3 play. We'll be taking 1/1. One next turn, maybe 2. Yeah. I think the Season Pyromancer poses a bigger threat to us in the long run. So I think that was the correct play. We might lose the Bolus though. Go search. Yeah, unless he's got Unholy Heat his own creatures, but I don't think so. Oh, okay. And he does become a 2/3, but he does minor. Ooh, they are big now. Okay. Alright, I think I am dead now. Maybe he should have hit the channel. Alright. Yeah, he's got it. That was unfortunate. So I guess I misread. I mean, either case, it was unlucky that he was able to get that off and have Delirium up. I should have checked his graveyard a little bit better. We'll do one more. Yeah, I should have checked his graveyard to see if he would have Delirium, but I usually don't pay attention to that. I probably should. I guess either choice would have been okay. It's just a game of Magic. No matter how hard you think about it, you just have to make a choice and kind of live with it. Granted, that choice may not have been good. Just gotta keep this hand. We have a bunch of cantrips, so should be able to fix our hands pretty well. aggressively mulliganing, so I almost assume it's a trickery deck. 3 mulligans, maybe a 4th one. I don't really have an answer to trickery decks. Besides counter spells to counter their trickeries. If he's aggressively mulliganing that much, I don't think our life total is going to matter too much. It's one of those combo decks. I'm going to have to dig for answers and try to outrace him as fast as possible. I might even just play the Fable next turn, get an island or something, and try to just get as many considerate plays as I can and try to dig for a counter spell. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need the Colgans right now. Yeah, I'm gonna do this to get the Considerates online as quick as possible. It's weird I drew all of them, but such is life. Maybe I should have waited. Consider first before I did this to give me more options, but that's fine. I already have a land. I have 2 more cantrips, or maybe I'll just dump this now. Wave. Okay. Turn 4, we may want to leave her man up. I want to play the Bolus. I'm a little skeptical. Smari. I don't need that either. Sure. Add that to my hand. I think I need 2 of that. This here, exile this. Alright, I figured he was gonna do that, that's fine. I'm gonna force him to draw the trickeries again. Retrace is a bit annoying to deal with. This last shot. Maybe one more shot. Well, he's out of trickery, so I think we're okay. I'm not too sure if he's able to win from here. He has all 4 in it, yeah. So we outlived that. Fortunately, I don't think he has any creatures I can revive. I don't have anything in my grave
No
either.
one can stand in my way. My knowledge is endless.
I am just trying to thin out my deck at this point and hopefully get the Crocs out.
I always have an answer.
Okay, here we go. Let's get this game rolling. I'm not quite sure what his game plan is anymore, honestly. He lost all 4 trickery. And so I was thinking he's gonna go do something with World Tree. Maybe bring out a god, like a Scarab God or something, but I mean, at that point I could care less about Scarab God. There's nothing in either grave for us to revive. He can bring out another god of some kind. If he tried to like bring out an Ugamog to exile, I would have or hit my these two. I would have probably just Infernal Grasp my own Croxa, bring it out next turn again. He swings in at me, I'd probably just take the hit, swing at him for probably game or something. Granted, I don't really have an answer to an Ugamog, but I'm not even sure they're still playing Ugamog in their decks anymore. But yeah, whenever you see your opponents aggressively mulliganing, you just assume it's just a trickery deck, and that besties a few times only because of countering the correct card. You never want to counter this card. You know, Theros is just, you know, you want to counter the only card that they're probably gonna hit with Cascade, which is trickery. It's fine if you force it to, like Remorse. You know, you force them to draw it again. You know, they don't want it in their hand anyways, and he already had one in his hand. He sent another one to the grave. All this did was just deal 5 damage. I think Magnum Opus is better than this, or Magma Opus is better than Creative Outbursts. But I guess if you loop with this, you can just ping your opponent's face a bunch of time and kill him. I wish I could see the rest of his deck and see what was going on there, but that's okay. I think I've got all my quests done for today. Alright, cool. Alright, I'll probably play again the next couple of days since the beginning of the season. Yeah. Probably start playing some best of 3 games with this deck and to try out the side deck. I guess, yeah, that's fine. Alright, anyways, enough of me mumbling on. I'll catch you guys next time.